Okay, so API stands for Application Programming Interface, which probably doesn't mean anything to you right now. But by the end of this video, you will know exactly what this means. Let's imagine we have an application. This application has taken us years of development and millions of pounds to build. If we want this application to be a worldwide success, we probably want the ability to integrate with other popular applications and services, right? Well, that leaves us with a bit of a problem. Imagine trying to build custom integrations with the thousands of third-party apps that are available today. It just wouldn't be feasible. This is where APIs come in. We can build an API onto our application. The API is essentially a doorway into our application. Now, using this doorway, other third-party applications can get access to all of the data and the features we built without us needing to provide any custom code whatsoever. This is how it works. Let's say this custom app wants to access some of the data or the features that we have built. It will send an API request. API requests are sent in the form of a simple HTTP message. In this example, we're using a GET message to request information, but there are other HTTP methods that we could use. For example, the most popular methods are POST, GET, PUT, PATCH, and DELETE. These methods correspond with something called CRUD operations. CRUD stands for Create, Read, Update, and Delete. The POST method creates something on the web application. GET requests read information from the application. PUT updates information on the application. PATCH also updates information on the application. The difference is PUT will replace the information and PATCH will modify the information. And of course, DELETE will delete the information. Once the API request has been sent, the application will send back a response. The response will be sent back to the custom app, usually in a JSON or XML format. So, that was a very basic, high-level overview of what APIs are and how they work. To get a better understanding of this, let's use something a bit more relatable. Instead of this generically named app here on the right, this is now a weather app with a huge network of weather stations set up all around the world. And our custom app is now a mobile app. Now, for most of us, building a worldwide network of weather stations and compiling all of that information is nearly impossible. But this is the beauty of APIs. Anyone can build a mobile app and then use APIs to request the data from an already existing weather application. Let's see how this could work. Our mobile app sends an API GET request to the weather application. Here is an example of an API request using the Open Weather Map API. As you can see, it's a simple URL. This URL contains some fields. One field is where the app would enter the city, and the other field is something called an API key. An API key is usually required so the application can keep track of the number of requests being sent and also make sure that you're not spamming them. Once the application receives this request, it will respond with the requested data. Here is a small snippet of one of the responses. This is in JSON format, which is something we'll look at closer in another video. We can see different names and values here. We get the actual temp, what the temp feels like, humidity, etc. Now we have this, we can program our mobile app to take this information and display it in a nice, pretty user interface. And I'm sure you can guess, yes, this is a British temperature reading. Hopefully that's starting to make sense. Let's go through another example, but this time a little bit more hands-on. Instead of the weather, the app we want to connect to this time is something I'm sure you're all familiar with, YouTube. And this time we're going to connect not from our mobile app, but from our computer. So this is my computer. Most applications that have an API will also have documentation explaining how it works, the available features, etc. And YouTube is no different. If you go to developers.google.com/YouTube/v3, this is what you will see. This site tells us all you need to know about YouTube APIs. If we click on Guides at the top, we can see all of the how-to guides. The first one we see is the overview. This tells us exactly what we need to do to get started. We need a Google account to access the Google API console. We also need to start a project to obtain some credentials. Now, this isn't a tutorial on YouTube APIs specifically, so if you're going to try this yourself, have a read through this guide and it should take you through the steps you need. The next page is Reference. This is where we can find all of the available API information that YouTube has made available to us. To show you an example, I'm going to choose the channel resource on the left. I'm going to select List because I want to request some information about a YouTube channel. Once we click on List, we're going to see a huge amount of very useful information. We can see some common use cases, the HTTP request itself, and also all of the available parameters that we can use. Over here on the right, we have a very handy tool. This tool allows us to try the API out right here in the browser. It's worth noting that not all API documentation is made equal. Google provides incredibly helpful documentation and tools. However, other services may not provide you with this amount of handholding, so this is a really great place to start. So we could use this built-in tool, but for this example, I'm going to open an application called Postman. Postman is an API client that allows us to send API requests and receive responses in a nice, easy to understand format. As you can see, I have already gone ahead and entered our API request here. The first part of the API request is the channel resource. Then we have some parameters. A benefit of using a program like Postman is it can display the parameters in a nice, easy to read format. The first one is part equals statistics. This tells the API that we are looking for statistical information about a YouTube channel. The next parameter is ID. This states the channel ID we want to request the information for. And the final parameter is the key. The key is the API key linked to my Google account. This way they can limit the number of requests being sent from one individual. Otherwise, their systems could potentially get spammed and overwhelmed. I've censored the key because it's unique to me. If you try this yourself, you will be asked to generate your own key. Okay, let's go ahead and send this API request off to YouTube. Almost straight away, we receive a response back from the YouTube API. The response we get back is in the standardized JSON format. If we look closely, we can see the channel ID we selected, which by the way is the CertBros YouTube channel. We can also see the statistics that we requested. The view count, which as of today is 4,274,066, the subscriber count, which is 65,500, and the video count, which is 45. So now we have this data, what can we do with it? Well, we could write an application that takes this data and displays it in some way. Now, this is way beyond my capabilities, so I'm going to use someone else's application as an example. I'll open my browser again, and I'll click onto the next tab. This is a site you may have seen before. Social Blade provides statistics on various social media platforms. Here we can see the CertBros YouTube channel. We can see the channel views, the subscriber count, and the number of videos uploaded. All of the information that we just got from our API request. Of course, Social Blade takes this one step further and shows detailed statistics from various sources. This is the beauty of APIs. Any one of you watching this, with the right know-how, could build an application just like Social Blade without the need to build any custom integration with YouTube. And this isn't just YouTube and Google. You would be hard-pressed to find a popular application these days that doesn't offer API access. With APIs becoming so popular, the possibilities really are endless. You should now have a solid understanding of what APIs are, how they work, and the benefits of using them. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe. The support from you guys really helps this channel grow. Other than that, thank you for watching.